I'm an unreachable girl. Okay.
Girl offline.
Alex Quicho, welcome to Back Talk. I'm
Thanks for
so
having
happy you're
me.
here. I'm so happy you agreed to have a call with me today in your busy schedule. I I was completely overwhelmed yesterday in the best way possible, just going through again everything I was listening of yours and reading. And the first note I made yesterday is that I listened to Alex's lectures with subtitles like I do to Taylor Swift. because yeah, I will admit that, like, for example, when I was listening to your Kill the Girl, I think I'm paraphrasing, it's not the name, but about killing the girl lecture in Vienna, I joined it online and I realized I cannot really follow because I was like, I'm not on the level. I cannot. It was too perfectly formulated. So this time I was just like rewatching it and sometimes like scrolling back, and because I just saw myself like drifting away with thoughts, and I was like, oh, I need to catch up back. But anyway, I'm really excited to talk with you about this. I think to introduce you, as it says, that you're the agent, you're the angel, you're the writer, you're the artist, you're the demon, you're the system. Actually, I'll get back to that later. But I was in general actually interested to ask you, yeah, the behavior of a girl, and generally to talk about. I know that your work is not only about the girl, right? Yeah, it's a newest addition to it. So I was wondering, when did when did it click for you to sort of mimic your artistic career and sort of um, form follows function, so to say? When did you start with that, and what made you do it? Because also, as I observe the way you present and you write, everything sort of works together in this like live performance way, at least online, and I feel like it's a big commitment. So I'm wondering, like, what triggered it.
That's such a cool question. Thank you so much. I feel like, well, the maybe less interesting story is that I was writing a novel, and no one ever wants to hear that you're writing a novel. It's like a terrible party trick. It's like the anti-party trick. It's like, hey, have you heard about my novel? But I think at the time I was thinking about like the fusing. I had been writing a lot about technological systems, but in a much more analytical way. So my first book was about drones, but that book slid into something that was a bit like more strange and in and of the world. So it starts off with a kind of militaristic system, and by the end of it, I'm kind of speaking with artists and friends who are essentially doing a kind of like Southeast Asian animist transhumanist practice. I use that last word really lightly in this case. Um, and that writing by necessity became super porous to the world that it was living in. And I was like, that felt important. I was like, how do you still write about technology and our use of technology in a way that doesn't just repeat the language and the motifs that is in front of us, but actually gets into how we actually like cohabitate with it. And with the girl, I live a really, it's not an act, like my life is very femme. And it was like a moment in time when the internet was really feminized, but it was also reflecting, and in a non-contrived way, a kind of degree of friendship I was experiencing, like things that we were doing that summer. We were all released into the wild, and how high octane and almost like spring breakers
Mhm.
that summer was. And I was like kind of writing from that place of like really almost like violently euphoric feminine energy that wasn't about a reduction of the feminine to any like deep archetypes or anything. It was something stranger, inhuman, and feral. And that's sort of where the writing was coming from. Um, Oh, it's 1111, by the way.
Oh my God, angel numbers.
Angel numbers.
I heard that 1111 is actually not angel numbers because it's way too common. It's like too basic to be actually angel numbers.
Oh
But
my God, it's the
actually, in a
first
girl
one.
theory, I think the more basic, the more angel you are. So, yeah, I was also wondering, okay, so I think I'm sorry if I'm going through my notes a bit like frantically because it was like all over the place and I don't think. Okay, I'll preface it. Okay, we need some introduction for people who have no idea what does it mean when I refer to a girl because that's really the hardest part of it all. I would say from my part that the preliminary materials for the theory of young girl is, as you referred, the Bible of the topic, and in general refers to girl as a non-sexual, non-gendered entity that is, in the framework of capitalism, is the ultimate product and consumer simultaneously. I think you, in your practice, I will not put it lightly here. That's a practice, definitely. From an outsider perspective, I'd say so. So in your practice, you refer to a girl as a perfect system that mimics and aligns itself with a circumstance and sort of can assimilate in any other system and see sort of where the stars align and pick and choose the best traits to absorb and then reflect back. And then you extrapolate this systematic view of like existing, let's say, into any situation, which I think is why I love what you do so much, because for me, finding a system and then being able to extrapolate it into anything is like the ultimate philosophical fun there is. I find that the best trick is when you're doing it so convincingly that nobody can say that that's just your opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's on the like deception and the living become fused together.
absolutely. Absolutely. In your last talk that I was listening to, okay, well, actually, what is your favorite pop star?
That's such a good question. I think Lana Del Rey.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
tell me more.
Um, I think that's something to do. She was actually the first glimmer of girl theory in my head. I distinctly remember when I was growing up, there was a kind of like leftist intellectual magazine called The New Inquiry, and they would do special issues about pop culture that would get really chic, stylish writers to kind of deconstruct these things. So they had, like I said, like Spring Breakers, Lana Del Rey, like just anything you could think of. And the Lana issue really fused to my brainstem. There is an essay by Sarah Nicole Prickett called The Fake as Real. And it really looked into stuff that to us now we would find super quaint, right? It was like the early version of thinking about what it meant to perform a kind of patina of like a kind of like noir Hollywood aged persona and aesthetic, but for YouTube. And it was like one of the first essays to ever look at that came from not a place of hostility. I think early in Lana's career, everyone hated her lip filler and her YouTube videos, and they thought she was an industry plant. But actually, she's the most like capital R romantic person of all time. And I love that these things like coexist in one person, like the kind of depth of the emotion, like the rigor of her emotion is still there, but the construction around it doesn't negate the emotional rigor. And I think that's like sublime, honestly.
Yeah, it is. I think that's actually, yeah, when I texted you first, I said that what is a girl if not the cringe meeting the sublime? And
Exactly.
I do believe that. And I also remember first Lana's video completely just shattering my teenage high school existence. It was like the year I had my prom party, and we were learning like Blue Jeans, White Short by heart, like of course. But I also remember, I think it was like, right, the video games was her first video, and everybody was so in arms about the fact that it's just a collection of Skater Boy videos, just chopped and her in like bad photo booth video. And it was I think it was the first video where like content was mashed up into a video artwork as a like a stem of a pop culture. That was visionary, absolutely visionary. And I think that's kind of like quite an overlooked part of her oeuvre, because she's such a poet and everybody is consistently talking about her being a feminine icon and like everything. And what is it? Chemtrails over the everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like the content, the poetic dimension of her treatment of content is amazing, because also I really hate artworks that are about that kind of fire hose of like ugly content, what I refer to as like boy internet, you know, like really hideous reels smashed into a supercut and the audio is super loud and obnoxious and it sounds like sitting next to an uncle whose phone is on full blast on the bus. He's like scrolling. And it's like, but content also has this like extremely poetic dimension to it. Things appear to you scrambled in code, but with deep poetry. And I feel like the girlies who run like Open Secret totally get that, right? Like there's a version of being online that is like sending and receiving messages into infinity. And I feel like Lana's treatment of the internet is kind of like that, where it doesn't like preclude. I also think about how when people write about the writer Clarice Lispector, who's a pre-internet brain, I have to say, they always say her work is like hyper feminine and inhuman. And this doesn't actually have to do with the machine, but what is it about extreme ultra femininity and inhumanity that like fuses together in these acts of like extreme detailed poetry, like to be so poetic that you lose a sense of any whole or a sense of like a whole symbol, and things float into like a really rich degree of decontextualized detail that reassembles into something else. I feel like that's really beautiful. And that could be content.
Yeah, I feel like that's exactly how I imagine the cringe becoming sublime. That's what you just said. That's the one where the sign and the symbol just reassembles into something better than it used to be, and a bigger like existence, bigger entity that is not as a non-entity, but just like so desirable and pure. It's so good that we stumble upon old Hollywood, because also thinking about your work, I just put myself a note, the Rebel Without a Cause. I thought that was like the ultimate boy girl. It was just like the girl before the internet. It's just James Dean, white t-shirt, blue jeans, Rebel Without a Cause. That I was like, that's the one. And then I was like, old Hollywood, and put the Vaseline on your lens and on your face. Which brings me to two different questions. They are both light in nature, but I will start with the first one. When you talk about the face as a lucrative machine for the algorithm, especially when you cite the Mr. Beast and his crazy face, that he starts to look uncanny just to make the algorithm work better in his YouTube videos, I started thinking about how my dad just sent me the other day this crazy conspiracy video from some weird Telegram channel where it's like a comparison of two videos and you have to distinguish what is AI and what is not. And there is like a really sumptuous caption saying, the last time we can distinguish real from AI. Yeah, at this point I was just like, Dad, just stop scrolling, like touch grass, seriously. But that brings me to this idea where you talk about this face as like the shimmering lens and the Reap Spark AR again. Totally get it. Such a great app. But back to it. What do you think proliferated, the hyaluronic acid and the lip gloss revolution as of late? Is it really the shimmer you refer to, or is it just nice to use and hydrate? It's really, this podcast is really the high-low.
I'm obsessed. I love these. This is where I want to be talking. I don't want to be defending my position against them, bro. I want to talk about lip gloss. I think there's certain things that are like, I guess the like problematic, whatever they're called, the people who are obsessed with facial construction being indicative of something deeper in your character online. What are they called again? Not the femcells. There's some other, the like looks maxing people.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm so deeply irked by that whole agenda that I delete this memory from my head. Like,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, we can delete that. Delete that from our conversation.
No. We go uncut, unplugged.
Oh no. Well, I feel like there's something really, I feel like for a while there was a blip in culture where everything in my original girl theory I was writing at the ultra smooth. And it was like the faces themselves were resembling the glass phone screen. And there was this kind of subconscious desire to merge. It was like glass
Just like
skin.
smash it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, sorry, side note, new iPhones are so heavy that you have, if you do it in your bed, before falling asleep, like scrolling and then it falls on you. Oh my god, that's really when you need a rhinoplasty. That's the real cause of the plastic surgery. They are so heavy, you can really get hit. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, beware. But okay, yeah, the merger with the screen, continue.
So if you see the girlies with the bruises and nose jobs, it's all
my
part of
God.
the game.
That's deeply problematic.
I do think a nose job bandage is so unbelievably glamorous.
100%. 100%.
So glam. Especially like glimpsed from the back seat of a car with tinted windows. You see a face passing with dark shades and a nose job bandage. Like, unbelievably chic.
I know. I also believe that that's the moment where the icon becomes unknown. It's like the perfect iconoclasm, just like the micro reset. Just that one picture of you with bandages. You don't even need to like relaunch your new face. That's less cool than the picture of a paparazzi catching you in bandages, because that's the suspense, and you want the suspense. You like, without a suspense before the big release, failure. Because now with Kris Jenner new face, everybody's talking about her plastic surgeon, not about her. You know, she totally skipped the bit there, and I think that's on them. They should know better. The girlies are like, they lost it there.
They should know better. I mean, has no one watched David Cronenberg? I feel like there was a moment. I'm a bit offline now, so maybe it's still happening. But when I was really like on my phone a lot, I was seeing so many like girly surgery videos. There's one that I really distinctly remember where they're like two besties, they're like holding hands in a hospital, and they're both going to get this jaw surgery, which is like really invasive. To get your face in like a V shape. And they're getting it together and they like show everything. Like, it's really gory. Like, it's not just like drinking matcha in the hospital cafe. It's like they show the like blood, they show the bone, they show everything, but it's like best friend trip. And it had so much engagement. And I was like, wow, they're really fascinated by the ability to change your features. And I think a lot of people aspire to it, but I always say that surgery girls are like the strongest. Like, it's really hardcore. I'm scared. Like, there's stuff I would change if I wasn't a coward.
I mean, that's a good point, actually, because I never took being a coward into consideration of this equation. I was just like, no, I wouldn't. But I actually, indeed, if it was, I think if there would be like plastic surgery where you have like, you just like wake up one day and everything's different and you're completely fine and there is no recovery time. Hell yeah. Like, who wouldn't? Also, if there would be a reverse function, Choo. Say less.
That's why we can Spark AR.
Reap Spark AR. Oh my god. Okay. But before, actually, usually I start with a special part of the conversation. It's called Bag TSA. So can we perform it now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I have my little
Before
bag
we go
to you.
too deep in the convo, because
I was so happy you asked.
Oh
This
my
is my
god.
baby.
Okay, I have to narrate. Okay, it's like a black leather bag with rectangular horizontal shape. We have a silver zipper going through left top and right side. It has a little chain with oh my god. Okay, so Alex is really cool. She has like a digital blue Sony Coolpix kind of camera, and it has a tiny little, not Labubu, but what's the name for Labubu?
It's like
oh my
a
god,
charm.
the charm. Do you see like the discourse is really pushing out the original from my head? So I said instead of charm, I just said Labubu. That's so dumb. Oh my god.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. But English is my second language, so I think I'm allowed.
You're allowed to reform English anytime. That's the point.
Okay, thanks. Let's call it reforming. Sure. I take it. But the charm is just a cute silver chain with angel wings and a little heart and on a cross. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, religion. We'll talk about it later. But let's continue with the TSA. Okay. What's the first thing?
How do you want to do it? First thing.
Yeah. You don't have to show everything. Usually I go through it live. That's like fun because then I can be like, oh my god, didn't expect. But here you can just like highlight the best.
Yeah, I don't know how many of the things you want. She's really packed in here, but she's packed like this is the survival edit.
Okay.
The first is this.
Okay, fluffy beauty bag with another charm, cherry hearts, and it has a face.
And there's no beauty. It's just medication. So this is Austrian Xanax. I basically have a neurological issue, and it's anything to do with motion. I'm like anti-acceleration. I have to medicate for any kind of acceleration in the world.
Wow. But also relatable. I think my beauty bag is also mostly pills. So that's very Eastern European of you.
Wait, so are you narrating or should I explain? Do I show you and then we talk about it?
It doesn't matter. Like, let's just go through it. You can just show me stuff. Yes, that's good.
This is from Naxos. Okay. A lot of these things, from our Lana convo, I'm a very sentimental, romantic person. So most things I have are like somehow connected to people I love. So this is a hand cream from my friend who moved to Athens, and she's very in tune with like, what's it called? Basically anything to do with the wilderness and the stars. So this is from an apothecary.
And it's a hand cream.
Yes.
So
gotta keep it silky.
I love that now your arms are connected to wilderness and stars. I don't know if it helps on a daily, but it's really cute.
Oh my god, I feel like I'm really gonna help you with your cringe to sublime stuff today. That's my whole
But that's the goal.
Okay. So vulnerable. Okay. This is my every time I have to go to Europe and it's a cash economy, not like the UK. This is my little coin purse.
Little pouch in the shape of a tiny bunny. Oh, my previous guest, Nabi, she also has a lot of this bunny everywhere. And I keep on forgetting his name. Nabi? Now I call it Nabi, but that's really not the name. It's her name. Anyway, that's a cute bunny.
She would be so honored if Miffy was named after her.
I know. Nafi. Yeah, that's the name. But yeah, okay. Hi, Nabi, if you're listening.
What is this? Oh, this is... Okay, I have a funny story for this one.
Okay, that's a black rock. Of course. Rock on. Tell me more.
So it's a piece of obsidian. it's meant to be protective and it like cuts bad energy.
Hmm.
Basically, last year, I thought a bunch of my friends thought that someone put the evil eye on me,
What?
and
What?
it culminated in me on the way to the Aura Points lecture that at London College of Fashion. I was hit by a car,
No.
and it was fine, but I sort of was like, okay, this curse has gone too far, so I got this piece of obsidian. And I was telling another friend of mine about it, and he was like, so you still don't wear a helmet when you're biking, you just carry a piece of obsidian.
That's great. I
And
just
it's like, I can't explain.
I can't explain. I just came back from Paris, and I mean, I live in Amsterdam for like almost 11 years now, so I feel like biking is like, there are not that many things I'm sure about, but biking I know. It's like Carrie Bradshaw. I may not know men, but shoes I know. But for me, it's biking. I'm pretty sure I can manage it in a big city scenario. Though there are places where I would not advise it. First of all, I saw like London, I think is crazy. I really think you need a helmet there. It's insane. It's one of the craziest things I saw, like especially when you see it on the second floor of a bus and you see like a crazy dude on a bike and he's like I remember half of his outfit on top. It was him going to an office, so he was like short and tie, and then he had like bike shorts. It was absolutely fucking insane. It's just such a sick outfit. And he was like race biking in a helmet in the middle of like, I don't know, I think like, let's say Trafalgar Square, like insane junction point. I was like, oh my God, he's gonna die, like just in front of me. But now I just been to Paris and Parisians are insane. They all started biking because of Olympics. And it's not because sport Olympics, it's just because their whole city got just like revamped to host different kinds and modes of like being, seriously. And they're really not compatible with the Parisians themselves. So now they're all biking and that's just ridiculous. Like that was just the most stressful biking of my life. Just completely frantic. So, I mean, that's just a biking story, but I would not believe in obsidian. Like after Paris, just don't believe in it. I suggest protection.
I think
Use protection.
spiritually, I think spiritually though, I'm the guy in the bike shorts in the suit on Trafalgar Square.
Yeah.
My friends say that I'm always showing up to the function in a totally unbikeable outfit, on my little racing bike, headphones on, ready to die. It all comes up to Lana.
But headphones on is another thing I'm gonna talk with you about. It's
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Yeah, okay. Teaser. I just got tickets, so I'm so excited.
Oh my God, my friend was at her secret show in London and all the dancers were in like matching lingerie. We were so inspired.
Okay, we close the bag. Like give me
Okay,
like
wait.
two more things and we just snatch back to the girls.
Okay. Let me show you the two most important things in my life.
Mm-hmm.
One is my little diary.
It's not your parents, so like
No. And it's
okay.
like I said, I'm really sentimental. It has flower petals from all the bouquets I've gotten from people I love.
It's
Like
amazing.
pasted in.
Really
And
cute.
also, I don't have an internal monologue. If I don't write it down, I just don't understand. It doesn't like embed in my brain. So this is like super important for me for like thinking.
Oh wow. Wait, but do you do it for your personal like emotional things or everything?
I think I process, okay, this is getting deep, but I process my emotions through like a poetic detail vibe. So this is never like, oh, I'm feeling this way today. It's like encrypted in images and sensations and stuff. But then there's also notes on like it's just because when I was little, I was afraid of people reading my diary out loud and understanding something about me. So I would like hide my emotions in observation stuff.
Whoa. That's so cool though. You were, oh my God, you were like encrypting. You were self-encrypting. That's this part from the lectures where it comes from, because I'm constantly like, okay, in every like art practice, even the most theoretical one, the most man-coded PDF DAC, well, no, there actually doesn't exist, but in all other formats, there is always a part where you're like, okay, I think this one hits close to the bone, cuts close to it. And I think for me, there are parts of your convo, your writing, and this inscription part. I was always like, diary, self-inscription, self-procreation. I'm like, I never, like, you can say it, it's like a part where you can say it in so many other ways, just like manifestation, self-proclamation, self-made girl boss, like, there are shades to it, but you constantly say inscription, and now it's like so nice. There's actual script that you do for yourself, and it's like poetic and only for you to decipher. It's pretty cool.
I'm showing you all my secrets today. Okay, last item.
Okay, yeah.
A little pink card holder.
Hell yeah.
And it says trophy wife. And the most important part of it is that there's a tracker in it, because
it's flat.
I am what?
Flat.
It's a flat tracker, and it's pink.
So cool.
Because I always lose this, and the person I was dating at the time, I lost it, and I was like, "Hey, babe, have you seen my wallet?" And he was like, "Literally never." That's true to life.
Chivalry is not that. Okay.
So the tracker is important. Okay, that's my bag tour.
Back tour. Thank you for this amazing back tour. I was already thinking when we take a picture of a bag, I'll put like extra shimmer on it. So, like lights from within.
She's got aura.
She's got aura. But I was also thinking, a lot of things that you're talking about, again, they can be have a light from within sounds so cringe, but when you say aura, it's so cool. But it's like absolutely the same. It's completely like a branding exercise, but theoretical one. And that actually reminds me of one of the first questions I wrote down for you. Yeah, as I was saying, the text form intensifies the subject, and that I was thinking actually when reading this preliminary young girl materials, I was completely nauseous after like even like I didn't read the whole of it, but the part of it I read, I was like, oh my God, this is written so that it's just like self-fulfilling prophecy. You're just bombarded with this vision and you cannot get out of it because like it makes the world warp into itself, and it's just very doom and gloom, actually. A really hardcore thing, but what's I thought was really smart and like cool about it is that form of the text was supporting the subject all the time, and it's something you do as well, but I guess in a less doomy and like I'm like literally shivering remembering that. Horrible. But what do you think about this Caroline Polachek video where she is on like a night show and she's doing this like Girl Academia performance for her song? You remember that?
I don't think I saw that one, but I do love Caroline. But I don't think I've seen the one you're talking about.
Okay, it's basically a video of her performing one of her like more known songs. It was like a hit at the time. I cannot remember it now, but the visual was crazy. It was her dressed as like, well, now it would be referred to as office siren, but she's actually just dressed as a sexy librarian or like a teacher, whatever, like glasses and like long skirt and blah, blah, blah. And then there is like no setup. And mind you, it's like a night show on the TV. So there's always like just really cringy, ugly stuff behind usually. And there is like black background and she has like a white board and like a stick. And like she just sticks at those infographics all the time. And infographic after infographic after infographic. And I remember I was like, wow, that's so powerful. But then I was thinking, okay, what do you think about infographics then?
I love this prompt.
Because I think I have a beef with infographics. Like sometimes they really hit the spot. But once I was working with one creative director, and he was like, "Yeah, just make some cool infographics, you know, like the cool infographics. They'll sell the deck." And then I remember there was like this whole time period where like all the like cool trend reports and everything, like a PDF and the form of a PDF filled to the brim with infographics was just like the pinnacle of intellectual lifestyle. So I think I kind of hate them. So they're like complete antithesis to the video game video by Lana Del Rey for me. So I thought her appropriation there was really, like, it was striking a chord with me.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that's such a good interpretation. I co-sign. I think that when you were saying that it was like it's the antithesis of video games, I was like, absolutely. I feel like I'm turned off by infographics because I'm like, there's something necessarily reductive about them. And I don't say that lightly. Like that's how they're made. And I'm always suspicious of that. I think if you're like poetically coded, you have a suspicion of reduction because it's not crystallization. It's not distillation. You're not filtering down into something strange and striking. An infographic is, how do you take something so general and then reduce it even more? And I find it personally off-putting. I think that, for certain things, it has a use case, and it circulates for a reason. But I think it's a form of stupidity.
Yeah, I think that's like, but I think when I love to use it when I want to really boil down to the core, just especially with things I'm interested in, they really they're all girl coded. I don't like non-girl coded things, in a sense that the less you can really pinpoint it, the better. But there is always this like one through line that kind of makes it like trickle a bit brighter. So sometimes the infographic is really necessary. I think you can like really put it in and then you just like map it out in a sort of, again, the girl idea of system overlapping a system. For that, you really need sort of an infographic to overlap the two.
Do you make a delineation between infographics and diagrams?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, infographic to me, I'm thinking like Canva activism, or, this like genre of like Instagram educational content, essentially.
Oh, wow.
But
no, that's
I think
dark. That's like,
things...
no. I honestly, I never think about that.
But I think, more generally, diagrams where you are mapping certain things across certain axes, like that can be really... I have a couple of friends who are obsessed with diagramming everything. And it can become even more confusing, but that's the fun part.
Yeah.
I think we tried to map, I think for a while, the wider circle tried to map everyone's music taste, and we realized the only thing we had in common was Dean Blunt. And another time we had a matrix that was like enjoyment to effort matrix, and we were trying to map all our activities on there. And everyone put like events at the intersection of art and technology in the quadrant that was like high effort, low pleasure.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So, I think there's a time and place for a deranged little diagram. Or the circle, this kind of like samsara circle that just says like crash out, lock in.
Oh yeah, when they're just going from one state to another perpetually. Yeah, for sure. I mean, this diagramming is at the core of meme culture in a sense, but I believe that, there is this delineation where it's very, I don't know, maybe it's actually a graphic design problem. I don't know. It's just like at some point, even though it's very fun and like cool, it's really just disturbing. and annoying. but maybe that's just my personal preference. I don't know. I actually...
You can blame it on the designers.
No comment. Okay, once I like distilled a bit more after listening to everything, it took me a moment. I had a question. You say that in order to perfect itself, girl constantly reassembles and tests. To reassemble successfully, you need a test moment, a period where you like check things out. But I never heard you talk about the girl fail. When does a girl fail? Do we have examples of girl failing? Are there grades of girls? Like, is there ultimate girl who never fails and the girl who constantly fails? Or do they feed off each other? Like, one version of a girl is failing in order for the girl, like Queen Bee, to never fail. I'm like, because I was like, the perfection is great. We all want it. I love the idea that the more you project your perfect aura outside, the less your inner workings are visible and accessible, actually. And the more you give out, the more people outside fit into it and they don't ask questions. But where's the failure? Like, the agent must fail in order to constantly be perfect.
Okay, if we can go hard into the theory briefly.
Just briefly.
So there's like two things. I think one is the concept of failure. Okay, this is where the girl becomes kind of fused to how we understand like capitalism in 2025. The C word, the other C word.
Cringe.
So, cringe capitalism.
Did I just really say skrr on my podcast twice? Anyway, yes. Theory.
Yeah, let's lock in for a second.
Yeah, so, thank you.
I think for like iteration, there's failure built in, but the discourse around iteration almost like splits out failure. So things actually are failing constantly. Things are always bad or failing to meet where they should be, but that's described as iterative. And I think the girl is iterative and she instantiates. So she takes things that have ideals attached to them, whether that's whatever, beauty, elegance, smoothness, whatever it may be, and kind of forces them into the world, and always an imperfect way. And I think when I write about girl theory, it's also about what the girl represents to me is actually this kind of the excessive part of these activities, which you could call failure. But to me, it's like, I read a lot of Georges Bataille, Lana Del Rey. I'm really coming out on this podcast of being like shit. But this kind of excessive energy, which is both like, that's the kind of fuel to flame, that is eroticism, that is unpredictability, that is, you could call the incomputable. There's elements of that. But then on the other side, because it's it's a self-metabolizing system, I was just writing the afterword for Merrick Pollock's and Roberto Trio's book, Exocapitalism, and I think that their concept there is the most, I think, accurate way of talking about this, in that capitalism has already expanded endlessly in a sort of physical sense when we think about our planet, and every single corner of industry, every single corner of an ecosystem is kind of subjected to what we could call like old kind of materialist processes of extraction. And then what is left for capitalism in itself is what the boys call lift, which is a kind of turning inwards and folding inwards. So becoming even more, I guess, like fissile and the kind of micro folds within a larger interaction that are then exploited for more value. So that's where also the girl can't be an idealistic escape, because these little moments of failure actually become moments for further value creation. So the more you iterate on something, the more you instantiate something, the more that thing fails to meet its ideal. Doesn't just mean it gets to kind of we glitch out and we have this like beautiful glitch feminism moment. I think at this point in time, like, I love that theory at the time. It was wonderful to read and really inspiring. But at this point in time, we have to understand that those moments are also ripe for value creation, unfortunately. And these are not liberatory politics anymore. They're not really attached to that discourse in a way. What I'm trying to do is kind of describe a reality that we have so that we can kind of realistically but romantically address what's in front of us. And I think that The Girl is like a kind of reskinning of a lot of these discourses around like economies, extraction, and production that, sometimes you don't want to talk about it in those terms, or you want to kind of, like I said, you want to kind of like think about the certain other parts of it, like the feeling of it, the surface of it, what it looks like. So
because we're
I feel
so
like that's
visual.
exactly. And I think you need to understand how things feel. Yeah. You can't just understand a system diagram. You also have to understand how it feels like in your body, on your skin, under your fingers, that kind of vibe.
Yeah. I like the idea of reskinning capitalism for like wider consumption, because a lot of things I think are not skinned for me. I just listened to this neoliberalism lecture at how it called Doomscroll. Wow, it was like I was depressed for like weeks. It was bad. So that has to be reskinned for sure. But I would say I think that's actually where cringe and sublime overlap with this whole idea of the failure of a girl, because when a girl fails and extracts more value from each fail and just calls it an iteration, that's exactly the pinnacle, the overlap, the sacred third thing. And I like the idea that just by renaming and retitling the failure into iteration, it's very startup culture. I love startups.
Exactly.
Just like, I love startups. So I saw that in your lectures, especially the Aura one, you were all covered in K-pop stars. Have you seen The Idol?
Yes.
Do you like it?
Yes.
I love it too. I love the red tail. I think it's amazing.
God. So good.
I know. It was just gorgeous. But also, I had a question for you. Back to old Hollywood. There was this thing with like light had to constantly be special light, pointing at the eye of the star. So there would be like inner light and the spark of life on the image, in the black and white image. I find it's very, it's fitting to this conversation. But more specifically, what would be your dream red carpet appearance? That's a serious question I have.
I know it's serious, but I'm also like, what do you mean?
Like, would you like to go to Oscars? Is it Cannes Film Festival? Is it Met Gala? I think red carpet in general is such a potent spot for the girl theory and for so many things. It's just my favorite place. The other day, actually, funnily enough, this weekend, I had a Saturday where I had to go to 3 birthdays, but randomly I ended up going to 4 because upon arrival to my 3rd destination, I saw a door in Paris. It's just a gorgeous house. And there was like balloons by the door and on like Parisian dirty pavement, there was this really weird red carpet. And I was like, yeah, that's where I'm going. And so I enter this gorgeous house. There is a lady welcoming me in French, telling me like, would you like to leave your bag? Like, whatever. And then escorting me to the top floor. And they was like, are you here for celebration? I'm like, yes, I'm here for celebration. And then I just enter the celebration and I see that everybody is like 70 plus. And then a gorgeous, like, old French tanned lady, all covered in, like, bedazzles and diamonds, just comes to me being like, darling, hello, bonsoir. And she's like, are you here for, like, celebration? Whatever. So basically, I got tripped and tricked by the red carpet. I had to leave the room. All those old people were laughing behind me. I was like, at least they have a story to tell. And
It's because you're born for the red carpet, babe. You were just drawn to it, obviously.
Thank you. Yeah, but my dream red carpet is Cannes. What would be yours?
I think I have to agree with you. There's something a bit more, but I did see that they banned nudity this year.
And that does not work for us. I agree.
No.
I think what doesn't work for me even more, I would love a long train. And I'm good with like no nudity, but please, I need to take as much space there as possible. And I also want gorgeous horizontal photos, you know, and you need a train for gorgeous triangular composition. So that's
you really thought about this.
I really
every
did.
POV.
I know.
I love that. You know what? I've never considered it.
Okay, now you have food for thought.
Now I know.
Leaving you with some food for thought.
Yeah. I think the horizontal photos, actually, I'm going to think about that one a lot.
Yeah, because I think that's actually really chic. When they also, think about a magazine, they gotta give you the spread. Yeah, we're just taking space. I think that's like mimicry, you know? Just thinking ahead. Like I'm capitalizing on my moment.
Yeah, your moment becomes endless moment.
You have also a dumb note, but it's just like going. It's funny how these notes appear, but I was like, oh, liquid glass iOS update. A thing I really have nothing to say about, but I was like, that's really fitting. Okay.
Is that the name of the new iOS?
I think so, yeah. And it's actually, I think, how I started thinking about it, you were saying that the girl entity is like transparent and obscure at the same time. So it's like constant flicker between the two. But they just made this iOS that looks really ugly. I don't think you can see like what you press, because everything is like white on top of transparent, semi-translucent glass blobs. Yeah, it's to the conversation of how girl changes the future of technology. Very visual. Okay, I also had a speed round of girl things, which is a bit bizarre, but please indulge me. So I'm gonna give you like a thing and you tell me it's girl or not. First one, water.
Not girl.
I think so too, right? Even though transparent, no. Fire.
Not girl either.
Same. Too destructive. Okay, horoscope.
Girl.
Yeah, same. System. Mm-hmm. Saying something is modern.
Not girl.
I know. Okay, we align. Okay, secondhand shopping.
Girly, but not girl.
Yeah. I thought it's old, and old is bad. Okay.
Modern is bad and old is bad.
Yeah. Freelancing.
Unfortunately, girl.
I know. Yes. Okay. This one is actually interesting. Food and eating.
Not girl unless the camera eats first.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's a good one. Because I was like, anorexia? I have no idea.
No, we don't endorse that.
No.
But I think there has to be looking before eating.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just eating, that's not a capital G girl. That's just being an animal.
So that's when I thought catering, girl.
Girl.
Eating, not girl.
No.
Yeah. Okay. And the last one is philosophy.
Girl, hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was like, on the fence. It's kind of like too suggestive.
I'm on the fence too. Honestly, I don't have a taste for philosophy.
Exactly.
But I do think a lot of the aspiring girls love it. So I have to just concede to the iteration.
Yeah.
And they fucking love philosophy.
Yeah. We're scouting into the camp. All right. Okay. Well, I put it as a plus. Well, in terms of pop stars, I think we mentioned in passing Addison Rae. And I wanted to mention her even before, because when I asked you about your favorite pop girl, I was like I can almost say that at this moment it's her for me, because she is like that. She basically made a video games video out of Lana Del Rey for me. And I feel she made it for me personally, even though I know she made it for like herself or like no one at all. But I am obsessed, absolutely. Like, I almost cried when I got the tickets yesterday. It was like, I know all the songs by heart already. I am like, she sees me. And I think...
Which is your favorite?
I love New York, but that's like when I want to go like hardcore party. High Fashion is amazing. Arca remix of Aquamarine slaps. Just like, wow. It's like 3 a.m. song, like just gorgeous. It's like, this is the song I would stay up till 3 a.m. to listen to it at 3 a.m. That's a commitment for me. I'm going to bed at like 11. So, I mean, which one is when she's talking about her, like, my mom always told me to have money of my own. Why girls
money is everything.
Yeah, money is everything. It's gorgeous. It's just like hilarious. But also
that's the picture of you life card holder.
Yeah. But everything, it's just like a perfect, beautiful, like Addison, just gorgeous. But was interesting to me, and I think it's also referring to the conversation a bit more directly, apart from the fact that we both love her, is that she said recently in a podcast that she couldn't afford to show her tastes, interests, and references before. They say that she was never like, that she was just like basic TikTok dancer, and now all of a sudden she's like with Arca and Charlie XCX and Mel Ottenberg and all of that, like the crowd of very niche, very cool people. And she said like, yeah, I just couldn't afford it because it was out of my reach to like perform as a person who embraces it. And I was like, wow, that's so girl. Like, she had to sacrifice some certain parts of her in order to like reach peak assemblage. And now that she is like peak form, she can absorb what is like more expensive to absorb, which is creates more friction. And I'm like, wow, that's just gorgeous. That's just so gorgeous. Also with this whole idea of like, I was obsessed with iconic things. I made a whole magazine about it. And she is like the girl theory, and then meeting this whole cycle of just like icon creation. So she had this like whole coming up Genesis story, and then just like iterations, pop stardom, paparazzi. And then she's just like, I think she's somewhere where she soon becomes like a souvenir of her own self. Like, she's really fast on track to like total acceleration and soon iconoclasm. Which brings me, sorry, I'm like on a monologue here. What do you think?
I love it. No, keep going. Like,
okay.
I want your lecture on Addison, because I think you're totally right. I love how you contextualize it in she had to adopt the conventions of a smooth subject, but to access a level of fame that allowed her to announce herself, to allow her to like Aura Max at the top.
Yeah.
But it's like a concession. She like conceded to certain vectors of attention and how it could get her to where she needed to go to announce herself, but not doing that too early because it would like diffuse that acceleration. So yeah, I feel like you got it.
Yeah, but also, to be absolutely fair, I don't believe that anybody can give a lecture on this because she is completely aware of it and public. And I think that's actually the peak performance, in the fact that it's all of the pop stars were continuously talking about how it's so hard to continuously reinvent themselves from album to album. But now it becomes an art form on its own and an expected part of like within this art form of being a pop star. Reinvention is not a struggle anymore, but just a part of a performance. As you can see with Charlie XCX, like continuously first doing like a remix album and then just like remixing everything and like being hard to let go. But her like struggle of letting go of her previous self is a part of a performance of the like she's on her way to be with the rhinoplasty bandages in a car. But before she gets there, she wants to mourn what's to come, which is like gorgeous. I think like I'm like, wow, this is like literally Jesus on those 3 days when he just came back. You know,
yeah, and I feel
before we go away. I don't know the names for those celebrations, I'm sorry. But you know what I mean.
I feel like there's a lot of motifs of like pop stars killing themselves, but not the body that they're currently in. But you know, there's so many music videos that are melted into this like unspecific mess in my head where it's like confronting it's like Perfect Blue vibes. Or like Helter Skelter, the Japanese movie, where it's like you encounter your twin, your past version of you, and you have to kill her. And I feel like the pop girlies are really aware of that, and that always is like recurring through people's pop careers, is that like that kind of notion of reinvention. I feel like there's like high awareness of it.
Yeah, and there is acceptance of it now. Like slowly we learn to enjoy all parts of the process. Whereas in the past we had to specify on the like release of the album, let's say, and like the peak popularity of it, then we shifted a little bit towards the preparation, not the rollout of the album, but even like, okay, behind the scenes, how was it recorded, la la la, like all the documentaries with Rihanna sitting in a studio and being like, this is how I made my R8, also amazing album. Anyway, but now I think we're shifting to the part where there is no skip in a cycle. So we can be entertained by all parts of it without judging necessarily one better than the other. And as an artist, artists and pop stars become aware of that as well, and they can capitalize on the demise as much as on the upheaval. So we can here trace two examples, I think. One is Madonna, who was continuously talking about how it's annoying to constantly, like how it's amazing to reinvent oneself, but also is like annoying to be judged every time when it happens. And now she's going to release this, like, what is it, like Alexandra something something, her electronic album that she recorded during the Ray of Light. Like she had her alter ego electronic album recorded at the same time as she was doing the Ray of Light, but she never released it back then because it was like weird. And now it's not weird, even for Madonna. Crazy that she had to stop herself. Obsessed. It's just, I think it's pointing to a time that like Madonna can afford to do it as well, which kind of more points to the fact that she was not able before. I think that's cool. And then you have a more like how you call it, meat of the road example with Sabrina Carpenter's new album cover. I mean, yeah. But
what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I love Helmut Newton. That's all I can say. So,
good answer.
Yeah. Just, that's it.
You're like exit.
Yeah, just roll the credits. Yeah, but I don't like the cat picture. No, that was too much of a pussy bow. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Babe,
I'm learning so much from you about pop culture.
Okay. Oh, but I was just, yeah, I love that. That's true. Just love pop music and pop culture, and I like relate. A part of me is there.
No, I think that, yeah, I have nothing.
I totally took over. I'm sorry.
No, I love it. It's just that like I really love pop culture, but I just have no analytical brain for it. Like I just love swimming in it. sometimes it'll strike me, but when it comes to celebs and stuff, I just like take it all in. I like sitting on the couch while my friends talk about it. Like I just don't know how to participate in it because I don't have sophisticated thoughts about pop culture.
Interesting you say that, because I think a lot of what you are saying sort of informs my point of view on the pop culture. Because it's
You're
like,
the next iteration.
no, but pop culture is like big capitalism girl system. It's like, that's the for me, this is the actualized performance of what you're talking about. And if in your talks you're more perhaps analyzing it with like AI and new technology, for me, AI, new technology, and capitalism, all things that don't exist. But pop culture and music do.
Totally. I get it. Also, like, I just love the K-pop girlies. There's like a generation of K-pop. Also, I'm not like a stan or anything, but I have a playlist where I collected self-referential K-pop songs. And there's like a couple that are called like Girlfriend or like Girls Capitalism. Like just totally understanding self as machine and like self as part of this like phalanx of like other hyper designed girls. And I was like, this is amazing. It's not even world building, it's like referencing.
Yeah. I think in that regard, actually, when I saw you referring to K-pop stars, I was like, but of course, those are the pop stars that have like, that don't even try to say that they are authentic. They are factory manufactured, literally, at a specific space or place. And their like genesis story is always the same. It's like, you know, the same entity doesn't have to perform the whole cycle of life as long as the same birthplace just like creates continuously new iterations. So you're like,
yeah,
it's like sending a spaceship after a spaceship without waiting for them to land. Just like, why wait for the disaster in the end when you just can continuously create new?
Yeah, and that's what I kind of love about it, or why I was using so much K-pop imagery in the talks because of that feeling. I think when I was first writing girl stuff, I was thinking a lot about like swarming and copying and what it meant to embrace. I do feel like in girl culture at every level, including the pop girls, there's so much ferocity around originality and copying. And I thought that was super interesting and in put into context of other like girl factories and like technology, for example, where like copying and iteration is like integral to the like continuity of the bigger thing. But then to pick up on it and see it in action, it can still like spark really strong feeling. Like Instagram accounts dedicated to actually last night a friend of mine sent me that reel of I don't know, it was like Hailey Bieber copying all the stuff that Selena did. And like these kinds of theories where it's like the mimicry is the thing that makes them evil. I was like super interested in that because I'm like, the mimicry is the thing that gives them the unfair advantage. And I thought that sits really interestingly next to like what you're talking about becoming an icon. Because if you're mimicking, it kind of should point to an area where you can't become an icon because you're a copy of a copy of a copy. And that's where this kind of like aura stuff folds into it. So how is it through endless iterating and copying and being in a stream of other forms of assembly and construction can you still actualize? And I think that's the cool mode.
I think you can definitely actualize because it's not about mimicry or copying per se, but I think it's more about putting yourself in circumstances that resemble the general narrative you have to go through. So you can actually do whatever you want as long as you create a perfect scenario around it. It's like, it's not even about Selena and Hailey mimicking each other. It's more about them doing it in the same platform with the same like situation, because that's what works. Oh my god. Okay, I feel like We're already talking for an hour. It can go on forever. Thank you so much, Alex, for this
Thanks for having
convo.
me. It was so nice to hear all your thoughts on everything. I just feel so mind expanded now.
Me too. Thank you. It was great to chat with you and riff off and everything. Have a great shoot today.
Oh, thank I try not to just be the standing girl emoji in front of the camera.
Maybe lean in, you know?
Lean into the lack of life within.
Yeah. Okay, I see you soon.
Okay, see ya.